Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. From Trending Politics, breaking. Capitol Police Chief revealed January 6th was filled with federal agents during interview with Tucker Carlson. Yeah. This was an interview Tucker did with the former chief of police for the U.S. Capitol, who was the chief during the January 6th riot. Let's read on. It's very, very interesting. On Friday, former Fox News host Tucker Carlson claimed that the crowd involved in the January 6th protests at the U.S. Capitol was filled with federal agents. Think about that. I do have to say that rally on Trump's part there was a huge blunder. The thought wasn't good to show the will of the people and rally them around him and all that, but to do it in D.C. was just asking for this, and the Democrats obliged. I'm not blaming Trump. I think his head and his heart was in the right place, but you have to know the evil that you're dealing with in order to proceed from there. According to a previously unaired interview with Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, Carlson relayed the story during a discussion with comedian and political commentator Russell Brand on Brand's podcast. The former Fox News host was let go from the network before the interview with Sund could be aired. So what he's going to have to do then, and since he's got a Twitter on presence now, and I encourage everybody to go to Twitter and follow Tucker Carlson. He's got millions of followers. It's amazing. And he gets tens, if not hundreds of millions of views on his videos that he has there. I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen on television and in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. It never crossed my mind. I never thought there was a false flag or anything like that. I'm not a conspiratist by temperament. I never thought that, Carlson said, expressing his initial disbelief. I didn't realize at the beginning either, and as more and more come out, there are still people sitting in jail from January 6th in solitary confinement 2.5 years later. I don't care what side of the political aisle you fall on. I don't care if you think it was an insurrection to topple the government, which is asinine, or you think it was just a bunch of people acting stupid and 99% of them were fine, and everybody in between. Holding somebody for 2.5 years without trial in solitary confinement goes against everything this country and our Constitution stands for. Put him on trial. But the interview with Stephen Sund reportedly changed his perspective. Sund, who was serving as police chief of Capitol Police Chief on January 6th, is notably apolitical. Allegedly confirmed Carlson's inquiry about federal agents being in the crowd, and this is what Tucker said on Russell Brand's podcast.
And that was a tip-off to me. I mean, I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen on television and in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. That never crossed my mind. I never thought it was a false flag or anything like that. I'm not a conspiracist by temperament. I never thought that. And then I interviewed the chief of the Capitol Police, Stephen Sund, in an interview that was never aired on Fox, by the way. I was fired before it could air. I'm going to interview him again. But Stephen Sund was the totally non-political, worked for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this was not some right-wing activist. He was the chief of the Capitol Police on January 6th. And he said, oh, yeah. That crowd was filled with federal agents. What? Yes. Well, he would know, of course, because he was in charge of security at the site. So the more time has passed, now it's been...
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Was that the final straw for the people that own Fox, the family that owns Fox News? That this interview with the police chief, was that the final, as they say, straw that broke the camel's back? Like I said, I don't think the rally should have happened. Maybe it should have happened somewhere else besides the Capitol. Was it inviting a very tiny percent of wingnuts to storm the Capitol building? Yeah. But they couldn't have done it, honestly. Think about this for a minute. The seat of our federal government, of the most powerful and richest nation in the world, would let a bunch of people just storm it without enough security? Think about that for a moment. Just give that some thought. And on top of that, the vandalism done to the priceless paintings in the rotunda, the statues, none of them were touched. I didn't see one picture of graffiti or spray paint. Not one. It tells you that the vast majority, even the people that were stupid enough to storm the place, the reverence for the government was still high. It's the people that are running it that they were pissed at. No statues moved, busted, spray painted. Those priceless paintings that hang in the rotunda, and they are priceless, by the way. They can't be replaced. They're all part of our history. None of them were damaged. It's incredible to me. Capitol Police Chief on January 6th. Oh, yeah, that crowd was filled with agents, Carlson recounted. He can't show the video, of course, because it belongs to Fox News. Twitter owner Elon Musk interestingly commented on the video, saying it would be interesting to hear from the police chief. Son served as police chief of the United States Capitol Police from 2019 until his resignation in January 2021, following the Capitol riot. He had a 25-year career in law enforcement prior to becoming the Capitol Police Chief. Son's position would have given him an intimate knowledge of security and personnel involved that day. If his claims are true, they could dramatically alter the understanding of the events that unfolded on January 6th. I think a good 70 to 80% of the American people are dug in. If you're on the progressive side, you're going to say, it was an insurrection to topple government and Trump was in charge of it. It's treason. And then the right people saying it was a bunch of people acting stupid. Maybe Trump shouldn't have had the rally, but he did anyway. It was just a dumb thing to do, and 99% of the people that entered the Capitol just walk around and took selfies. They shouldn't go to jail, maybe pay a trespassing fine. They're dug in on both sides. It's the 15, 20% in the middle that maybe minds will change. Tucker is expected to conduct a second interview. This ought to be huge on Twitter, that interview, with Son in the near future to delve further into these shocking claims. It's funny. I thought everybody already knew this. Yeah, it's funny. So that means they were there to entrap people and let them in without stopping anything. It was a setup from the beginning. Trump should have never had the rally. He was warned and went ahead with it anyway. Truly sad for those that participated. It must be a typo. I can understand why Trump did it, trying to rally the people behind him, which has always been his mantra in 2016 and on. It was unbelievable. The support that he got, the groundswell of just everyday people. It's a unique American experience. As it turned out to be an educational experience, at the time the truth was exposed. Yeah, it should. Sorry, I don't believe a damn thing this administration says, any of them. They're all serial liars. There'll come a time when there are agents. The agents themselves or agents adjacent to those who participated will come out. There'll be books and movies. No one will care about the people caught up and jailed. That's true. And still in jail. The agents and their superiors need to be identified and held. And I don't want to read the rest of it. I think you get the idea. And somebody at Tucker Carlson is one of the few journalists we have left. We must keep him safe. That I agree with 100%. With the new whistleblower, the Israeli that's now hiding for his life, and also Tucker Carlson leaving Fox and going on Twitter and having, I encourage people to go to Twitter and watch Tucker Carlson's multiple videos. I believe he's on episode 8 now. But that's the long and the short of it. Let's say, well, Trump and the Republicans and the MAGA people just fell right into it because they're just dumb. And the Democrats were just taking advantage of a situation that these idiots created. Well, even if that was true, which I don't believe they're idiots, but even if that was true, it was still wrong what they did. To encourage people to commit felonies that can maybe put them in jail for decades, in some cases the rest of their lives because they was older. There's an elderly woman with cancer that's still sitting in jail. It's crazy. It's 2.5 years ago. But yet, there they are. And in solitary confinement for the most part, the vast majority of them. And the other ones pled guilty and then turned on their other people to get a lighter sentence. Very common. Very common, and prosecutors do that. They'll take 1 or 2 people so they can nab another 10. It's amazing. Will the entire story ever get out? I'm old enough to remember Watergate. And as the years went on, all the blanks were filled. We'll never know 100% of Watergate. We know about 98% of it, and that's enough. Will we get this? The Democrats played this beautifully. I have to admit. I have to admit it. Even though it was totally wrong, I believe illegal and immoral, they played this beautifully. If you're going to learn from huge mistakes that you make in your life, be they politics or personal, learn from this. Learn from this. Don't have rallies in Washington, D.C. Don't put yourself out there to be taken advantage of and used and twisted for a political agenda. It's a very old, if you ever study war and tactics, it was an incredibly stupid tactic that was meant well. And as most things in life that end up being really, really bad, and most things in history that are really bad, it was done with people with good intentions. And until the next time, goodbye and good luck.